Welcome back to The Explainer. Today we're diving into something that's going to totally challenge everything we know about learning. We're talking about HSDOS.AI, a platform that's literally building the future of personalized education. If traditional learning has ever felt like, trying to jam a square peg into a round hole, well, you're definitely going to want to stick around for this one. So here is a wild question for you. What if education focused on confidence first? Just think about trying to learn a new language. For most of us, the hardest part isn't actually conjugating the verbs, right? It's that absolute terror of sounding foolish out loud. I literally remember sweating through high school French, just dreading being called on to speak. Most systems are completely fixated on memorization and punishing incorrect answers, but the real barrier isn't brain power, it's fear. Confidence is that missing piece.
We're talking about a complete paradigm shift here. The old model, it kind of just anchors you down. You memorize, you test, and you prove you got the correct answers. But confidence-first learning flips that entire script. Instead of punishing mistakes, this approach actually celebrates the attempt to build up your self-belief. Because once a learner actually feels confident, the knowledge absorption, it happens exponentially faster.
And, this realization didn't just come out of nowhere in some fancy tech boardroom. As founder Jonathan Waltho puts it, after more than 10 years teaching in Japan, I noticed that confidence, not ability, was often the biggest obstacle to learning. This whole ecosystem is rooted in a decade of watching real, actual students freeze up simply because they lacked the confidence to even try. Which brings us to the really big macro problem here. Every single learner is different. Yet, traditional education still treats everyone like they're just moving down a factory conveyor belt. The future absolutely has to be personalized. A system shouldn't just hand you a static curriculum. It needs to literally learn how you learn, building a totally unique pathway just for you. So how do they actually pull this off? Well, it's through a three-step loop. First, hear. That's receiving the information. Second is see, actually understanding it. And finally, the ultimate confidence builder, do, applying that info through action. It's this active, continuous loop that's specifically designed to just completely eliminate passive learning. Now, this philosophy is the bedrock of the entire HSDO ecosystem. But, as you can probably guess, having a great psychological framework is really only half the battle. To actually deliver this to millions of people, that requires a seriously powerful technological engine under the hood. And that is exactly where the AI layer kicks in. When a user joins an app in this ecosystem, the AI immediately starts gathering behavioral data. But it's not just logging right or wrong answers. It's looking at where you hesitate, where you excel, identifying those hidden patterns to instantly personalize your recommendations. It's basically a continuous feedback loop of hyper-personalization. From the learner's perspective, this previously invisible metric of self-belief suddenly becomes totally visible. On the user's dashboard, you've got this massive confidence score right there in the center. The platform is actually quantifying confidence day by day and pairing the user with an AI coach whose sole job is to keep that positive momentum growing. Of course, to make this work so seamlessly for the individual, the back end has to operate at a massive, massive scale. The intelligence layer here processes millions of interactions every single day. We're talking tracking voice inputs, visual engagements, physical actions. It's connecting every little micro-experience to truly personalize learning on a global level. And while the roots of this whole thing are in English education, the technology is built to go way, way further. Because AI enables this level of personalization at such a massive scale, the ecosystem is expanding into family learning, general communication skills, and really just overall confidence development. The underlying engine can be applied to virtually any subject you can think of. In practice, this looks incredibly diverse. Take apps like Monkey Yoga, Phonics, or Speak and Sweat. These are definitely not your standard sit-at-a-desk flashcard apps. They actually link mental learning with physical exertion. They're these super active, highly engaging entry points into the whole ecosystem. And the ecosystem just keeps expanding, right? You've got apps like EIKEN AI Monkey for test prep or WonderCamp for adventure-based learning. The absolute key takeaway here is that every single interaction across all these highly specialized apps feeds directly back into that central AI core to make your profile even smarter. Plus, this technology isn't just for individuals learning in isolation. Tools like HSD Family prove that this ecosystem can support the learning journey for the entire household. Parents and kids can share a connected digital space, all while individual AIs are busy tailoring each person's totally unique learning journey. So, what does the roadmap look like? Well, the plan is actually pretty clear, launching these individual apps in month 1. merging them all into a shared dashboard within 6 months, and then, ultimately, realizing a fully interconnected, global, confidence-first ecosystem over the next 24 months. It's moving fast. To really summarize what makes this so game-changing, just look at the rest of the market. Most digital learning platforms out there are purely content-focused, meaning they basically just dump a massive library of videos onto you and wish you luck. Here, HSDOS.AI is completely people and confidence-focused. The system adapts to the person, not the other way around. Which leaves us with one pretty provocative question to chew on. Are you ready for an AI that learns how you learn? Just imagine a world where your confidence is actually prioritized over rote memorization, empowering you to finally thrive on your own terms. That is the promise of HSDOS.AI. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep building that confidence, and I'll see you in the next one.